So here we have the BST100 Super Overdrive from Nembrini Audio, and Igor is the same dude that brought us all of the amazing Plugin Alliance amp models like the Engel E646VS, absolute classic, or any of the Diezels as well, which are of course awesome. So you know that this plugin here, which is based on the SLO-100, is going to be pretty fantastic as well. So in this video, we're going to go over everything that this plugin can do. Check it out, see how it works, and get to know all of the parameters. So at the top here, start with the interface, of course. Guess what? It is resizable. Pull it down, pull it up, make it super huge if you want. Pretty awesome. Then, of course, across the top, we have this button here, a little hamburger button. Click that. You can open up the manual here. That's what that will open up for you. Or the impulse response manual, because this does come with some impulse responses. If you want to read about those, see exactly what they are. Then, of course, the about tells you, of course, who programmed it and whatnot. All right. Then we have a minus and plus button, and that is to go through, to cycle through our presets here. Or, of course, click in here. We can go through those in here as well. Then you make an adjustment, undo, redo. Pretty self-explanatory stuff here. Keep undoing, keep redoing. Go through all of your different changes. Of course, that also applies to changes you might make back here in our cabinet impulse area. Then we have A and B slots, so we can have different presets set up here. Let me just grab this, say, distortion A, and play that. All right, so say I like that. I can head over here to our B slot, choose a completely different preset here. We'll just say something clean so we can really hear it. Switch back and forth. Now, if I like the settings of A and I want those over here on B, I can press this button in the middle when I have A activated. If I had B activated, it's going to copy the settings from B and put them on A. So I'll select A, I'll click my button. Now I switch over here to B. It didn't change the name, it didn't load the preset, it just changed all of our settings, as you can hear right there. Then, of course, here in the middle, as you've already seen, click that, and we can click this home button, we can close it, we can go to our factory presets, and this comes with a bunch of factory presets. All right. Of course, your own presets, so I already have a folder made here for me right there. You can, of course, set that up for yourself. Then over here, we have a save button and a save as button, essentially. So let me head back to our A position here. I'll head to one of my presets right there. Then if I make a change in here, for example, let's say to pull the mids out. If I really like that and I want to save it to this preset that I've already created, I can just click the save button right there. Now I'll switch off of this. Now look at the mid. I'm going to switch off of this. I'm going to switch back. And that mid is exactly where I put it. Okay. So if it was on 10, I click save. Real quick way to save like that. So also be careful of that button, because if you have something set up exactly the way you want it, you don't want to overwrite your preset. Instead, you want to use this button over here. So let me make some big changes to this here. Right. Now, I wouldn't want to overwrite my preset with these changes because this is a completely different sound, right? So instead, click this button, and now I can go ahead and choose where I want to put it. So I have mine in my folder right there. And you can always create a new folder down here if you want, but I already have my folder right there. Pop into it if I want. Give this a new name, right? Save that, and then I have my brand new preset there instead of overwriting the one that I already had. All right, then we have trash. That's pretty self-explanatory. Let me grab my new name one, and we'll click trash, delete it. Okay, and then it should be gone, as you can see there. All right, so if I switch off of it, of course, try to switch back, it's not, you know, it's not there. Okay, then a bypass right there, pretty self-explanatory. Okay, now let's go over the tone stack down here. All right, so we have a bright switch right here for that input there. Bright or normal. Let me actually turn that up a little bit. Bright. Let's go to boost here real quick. All right, so a bright switch. Then we have our clean or our crunch. We'll pop on the crunch. Then we have the gain input here, the level for our preamp for normal, or come over here, switch it to boost, which is going to be your dirtier channel. And once it's on boost, whether we have this on clean or crunch isn't going to matter. Okay. It's on clean right now, but we're on boost, so it doesn't matter, as you can tell. All right. So just use it to adjust the input essentially of your gain there for either channel. Then we have bass, middle, and treble. And then a normal master and a boost master. So you can set these up maybe to have something clean, for example, right? And then have a different sound at its own level for your boost. And of course your tone stack, which you're going to set up, you know, however you prefer. Let me grab a different sample here. So bass is all the way down. Pull it up. And obviously the cabinet or impulse response that you're using is going to make a gigantic difference to your sound. Let me actually grab my preset right there because it sounds pretty good right off the bat here. Pull the bass out. Pull it in. So a good low end to it. Scoop it out. You know, it just depends on the sort of sound that you like, either kind of scooped mids or more present mids to make everything pop out more. Just depends, you know, on what you're doing there. Then your treble. It can get pretty bright, and of course, as we've already seen, our master or our boost, again, we can switch that boost right over here, or we can actually just click in the lights. By the way, I'm using my mouse wheel to adjust a lot of our parameters here. Much quicker that way than trying to grab it with my mouse and actually move it. Just use my scroll wheel right there. Then we have a presence knob, and this is an overall sort of tone control, and it can get very sharp. I mean, very sharp with this presence knob. It already sounds good and bright like that. But if we take this up, it can get razor sharp. Then we have that bypass down here as well, of course, up there. So let's go ahead and head behind the cabinet here, or to the cabinets here. And we have cabinet, we have impulses, and we have full bypass. Now on full bypass, we're just bypassing that cabinet. So if you want to use your own impulse response loader, you can do that by just bypassing everything in here. Let's start on the cabinet side right now. So we have a bunch of different cabinets that we can just scroll through, as you can see. Right there. Then we have microphones. Again, we can scroll through these here. A few different microphones to choose from. Your basic SM57 there. nice ribbon mic, condenser mic, and another dynamic mic. We have different positions for each of those. We have a full mixer right here. So if I just solo one channel right here, right? We're just hearing microphone 1 right now. And change the position. So you just set up your mix to, whatever you like. Also up here, we have mic presets that are already sort of set up for you. 1, 2, 3, and 4 different mixes already set up. Okay. Then the actual mixer, we've already seen solo or mute each channel. We can also reverse the phase there. If something is, out of phase. So adjust the overall level between mic 1 and mic 2. Of course, pan them around. Now I do have Stereo Maker on, and I've had it on this whole time. That's just so we can have some separation for the video. With that off, everything is just coming down the middle. So having this on actually sounds more like a mixed track, which is why we have it on here. But I'll turn it off for now and come back here. And of course, we can pan our microphones around too. All right, double click, puts it right back to the middle. Double click our fader, puts it right back up there. Not quite to the middle in this case, but to the sort of default level there. Then we have our ambient slider included, our ambient fader, which is pretty cool to have this included because you get more of that room sound and room tone and more of that real, sort of real sound with this here. So let's just solo that channel. It's the ambient. And of course, whenever you mix that in with your direct mics there, you can get sort of some depth, more of a realistic overall sound. Then we have a noise gate built in here. Just pop it on. Let me head over to this sample right here. So as you can see, I'm right here. Between these palm mutes here, right? Let me switch this cabinet actually. You can hear that amp noise and that high gain noise even between those phrases. So we turn on our noise gate and choose the overall level whenever we want this to become active, right? And then the range, which is the amount that we're going to pull that level down. So we can really crush it up here or just sort of dim it down here, okay? Once it goes over that threshold, of course, or below that threshold. See, that's obviously too much and our range is way too high. If I pulled that range down, left the threshold where it was, it's not dimming it quite as much. Obviously the threshold is still way too high, but pull it down a bit and pull our range up a bit. Then between our palm mutes here, get more of that sort of djenty sound instead of the amp noise and the gain noise. And sort of, whenever you pull your hand up off the pickup, there's a bit of a noise in there too. And you can use your gate to clamp down on that so it's not bleeding through. All right, then we have our levels, so our input levels and our output levels and a input reference. Obviously, we want to be in sort of the green yellow area. You do not want to, drive this up into red. So just check that real quick. So we have good levels there. That's obviously not what you want there. So you're looking for green and yellow, not hitting red. So that would be pretty good right there. Then we have this fixed input switch right here. So if I'm playing guitar and I need an exact level for my input so I'm not clipping or so it's not too soft, I can set that right here, of course. But whenever I go to switch a preset, and we'll just use our plus here, it's going to switch to, the settings of that preset, which means I'm going to have to come in here and manually adjust my input again every single time I'm switching presets. But if we use our fix input, so again, we'll say right there is the exact level I need. So I'll just fix my input, just turn that on. Now, whenever I switch through my presets, my input will stay exactly where I need it, no matter what preset I'm on. So as we've already seen, we have 5 different cabinets included here and a bunch of different microphones to choose from. And of course, change their position, change their level in the mixer and their panning in the mixer and whatnot. But we also have impulse responses that are included right up there. So just choose impulses, click factory if it's not showing. And we have a few impulse responses included here from Choptones. So let's hear this setting right here with our cabinet. And our microphones, and of course make any adjustments that you need to. But again, let's head it back over here to our impulse responses, and let's just select one. And as you can see over here, we can actually see that shape of that that curve of that impulse response. And for those who don't know what an impulse response is, it's sort of capturing what your guitar tone would sound like coming through a certain guitar cabinet and a certain microphone. So of course, when we're using our impulse responses, we can't switch a microphone like we can over here. Instead, we would choose the impulse response with the microphone that we want, which we'll see here in a minute with some of the impulse responses that I have. So you can use impulse responses as well. That was not too bad. But more than that, of course, we can also come over here and just click load. And then I can navigate to any impulse response that I already have on any of my hard drives. So I already have a gigantic library of impulse responses, over here. So I can navigate to that in our browser right here. Just navigate to the proper location, which we're already in. So we'll go ahead and grab let's just say a Soldano here. I'll just grab that and click open. So now I have that loaded right in here. And as you can see, I can change them on the fly here just by heading through all of my different impulse responses, even when it's playing back. But there's an even better way to do this, and that's to come over here to browse. So select browse, and again, just navigate to wherever you have your impulse responses. For me, it's right in here. So I'll just navigate to that with your drop down, choose whatever the location is that you want. Use this up arrow, by the way, to go back. Okay. So this is the library, the location that I want. I have all of these different cabinets here, and each of these folders here have a bunch of different microphones in them. So I can drill down, say, to just the SM7 microphones that I want, choose open on this folder, and then over here in browse, you can see I get the name and the folder that it's in, which of course is the Shure, the SM7. Okay. Have all of those in here already exposed, already open. So then I can just play back. And select whatever I want. I could also, instead of drilling down into just this one folder, okay, let me go back a step here. So maybe I want to see all of, let's just say let's come down here actually. Go for, say, our Crank Legends, okay? Instead of drilling down into this folder here, I'll just select my Crank folder up top right here, just Crank Legends. I'll hit open. And now, as you can see over here, we have all of our Crank impulse responses and all of the different microphones all exposed in here. So as you can see, the AKG microphone there. Here's the ambient mics. There's the Coles, the Electro Voice, Neumann, Shure, so on and so forth. And of course, you're going to have to make parameter changes based on whatever microphone or impulse response that you choose. So here towards the end, let me come back here and we'll go to cabinet here and we'll go ahead and turn off the boost, and let's hear a little bit of the clean here. Just change up your microphone, your cabinets. And of course, we can crunch that up as well. So it can get, pretty aggressive there. But now we'll head on to the boost. Turn the bass up a bit. There we go. So that is the BST100 Super Overdrive, our SLO-100 guitar amp model. And of course, the cabinets and our impulse response loader here. Head over to nembriniaudio.com to check it out further, hear more samples, and of course, pick it up for yourself.